I can't focus when your name's like a notice from the bank. And the allergy season has got me teasing the thought I'll be your house in July, and your mouth on my thigh, and I can't pretend I don't relish in it. Every message you send, now I'm coughing up the past. Nothing's built to last. Breathe it in there. It's almost like you're there. I can smell you everywhere, and I can't pretend I'm not better off without it. And I can't deny you're fogging up my eyes during allergy season. Got me feeling the brunt of you.
Hi, my name is Emmy. You're listening to Are You Okay? And from the Media Factory in the south end of Burlington, Vermont. This is 99.3 FM, WBTV-LP Burlington. I have a very exciting guest in the booth today, but first and foremost, we really want to make sure we get this information out. There are really high temperatures expected, well over 90 degrees this week, and the city of Burlington is announcing plans to open neighborhood cooling centers starting on Tuesday, and then it's going all the way through until Friday, June 21st, so that's tomorrow evening. Cooling center locations in hours. There's the Public Works and Parks on Pine Street, and that those hours are from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Fletcher Free Library on College Street on Friday, that's going from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. City Hall, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Old North End Center is going to be 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. In the Letty Arena, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and tomorrow it's 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and the last one is Fletcher Free in the New North End, and that is going to be open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday. Wanted to get that information out there. We want people to stay cool and healthy and okay. And with that, I would love my guest to introduce herself. We have Vega.
Hey.
/ Molly. What do you like ever go by Vega, or do you like to go by Molly? What do you like?
I go by Molly, but some people call me Vega, and it's fun.
Yeah. Is it like your artist name, or would you consider that the name of a band that you're in?
I think it would be considered the artist name.
Okay, cool.
It was like originally I became Vega because someone used to call me that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this is special. I was trying to figure out a name, and that's what I went with. But yeah, I just am Molly.
Okay, I love that. Okay,
or both.
Both, whatever. Welcome, Molly. Thank you so much for being here. I feel like we've been like we have been like in a what is that called, like a parasocial. Like I've been like DMing you on Instagram for many a month now, and I feel like we've been going back and forth. And so exciting that your album finally came out, and so now we get an opportunity to do it. So welcome to Are You Okay? Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Cool.
Finally.
Yes. Well, I'm really excited to talk to you about your album, but I always start, my show is called Are You Okay? And we play a lot of sad music on the show, and it's a lot of like nostalgic, sad girl music, and I talk about a lot of nostalgic sad girl things, and I always like to ask all of my guests if you're okay today, and like how you're doing and all of the things.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm really hot.
Yeah.
Just so sticky and sweaty from being outside.
Yeah.
But good. I like took a nice nap today.
Yeah.
Much needed nap. Been swimming a lot. I'm pretty okay.
Okay, good.
All things considered.
I feel like sleep is like one of our most underrated mental health tools / like causations. Sometimes I'll be like, why do I feel like I can't regulate myself? Why do I feel like completely unhinged and not okay? And then the answer is always like, oh, you haven't gotten more than like 6 hours of sleep for the last week. Like you should probably take a nap and then see how you feel.
Especially like when you're sleeping in a hot, stuffy room.
Yeah.
It's so awful.
Big time. I like have an AC unit and I have not put it in because it makes me feel like sterile and like I'm sleeping in a hotel and it's expensive and all of the things.
Yeah.
But I like got back to my house last night.
You have to.
I was like, I need it. It's time.
It's time.
It was time. Okay. So yeah, there's so many things that I want to talk to you about, but maybe you can start by introducing your album. It came out last Friday, right?
Yeah.
I went to the album release show. It was beautiful and amazing. But yeah, talk to me about your album.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long journey. It's been a very work in progress. And it feels, I don't know, it feels very cathartic, a cathartic release. Like, I feel like I just birthed something. But it had been, I don't know, I kind of, like, let it go a long time ago because it was done a long time ago. And yeah, it's just, it feels crazy to have it out now and like be able to like share it with people, because I feel like every time I played a show, it was always like, oh, where can I listen to you? And I was like, nowhere, because I'm taking
right here.
Yeah, right here, which was special because it was like you had to be there kind of. But then I kind of got tired of that and I wanted to just give, I mean, I don't know, I was listening to people. I wanted to give people a way to listen. And it's just like crazy that people want to listen and people like it.
Yeah.
Because these songs have just been like around in my head for years. And I'm just like, ugh. But like it's new for other people. So it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool to like finally be able to do that for people. But yeah, a lot of buddies on the album, like super special, all of like my really good friends. And I don't know, it's such a nice music community here. And it's really cool to like contribute in like a physical way now.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like able to perform and stuff, but like having something to offer that's tangible is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to talk, well, you were talking about it at your album release show, like so many of the people who've been playing in your band, like Ben, right? And stuff. Ben. Like you guys have been playing together for like 3 years? Is that like when the project started? Yeah,
it was like, it started in 2021. I had been writing like privately previously to that, but actually, this is a good time to plug this, but my friend Noah is doing a Day in the Sun music festival in September 28th. It's a lot of really cool local bands, but he's doing that, and I played the first Day in the Sun in 2021. Whoa. It was literally just like all of us in a backyard, and it was really chill, but it was just me and Cam. I like played my my little classical guitar, and Cam played the upright bass, and it was the first time I had ever played my music live, and that was like where it started. And it was kind of more just like, oh, Molly like sings sometimes, let's like put her on the lineup. And I was like, oh, I guess I have to have a name now, so I'm gonna be Vega, I guess. And then the first like full band show, that was in the summer, but the first full band show was September of that year.
Mm-hmm.
And I got put on like, I don't know, it was like at the Radio Bean, and I was like, oh my god, I need a rock band. So
Yeah,
I like
totally.
asked Connie and Ben, I was like, do you guys want to learn my songs and like be in my band? And they were like, yeah. And then we like went into Ben's basement, and just like they learned all of my songs, and they're all like wizards.
Yeah.
And just like picked everything up perfectly. And that's just like sort of where it began. And then we started playing more shows, and yeah. So I guess 2021.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah.
I was just like, why not?
And here you are.
And here I am, and I have an album out. It's really crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. The first time that I remember seeing you, and I was like, that person is so cool, was you were playing. It had to have been Halloween, because you guys were all dressed up, but you were playing a Halloween show, and you had this like, were you Ebenezer Scrooge?
Yeah.
You had this like long white hat on.
Yeah,
I think.
it was like my snoozer cap.
Yes. Yeah, and Ben was wearing like some sort of long cape.
Oh yeah, we were dressed as the, what is it? The Christmas Story? Or no, the Christmas Carol.
Yes.
So I was Ebenezer Scrooge, Ben was the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And then I think Cam was the Ghost of Christmas Present, and Carney was the Ghost of Christmas Past. So it was like past, present, future, and then I was Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yes.
That was for that was on Friday the 13th of October.
Okay.
It was the No Fun House album release.
Yes, okay.
And we were like, this is obviously has to be a costume party. So like we did the whole bit.
I love that. Anyway, that's
so
the first
funny.
And I was like, that's what a whimsical group. And then I was like, oh, they're dressed up. They are dressed up for sure.
It definitely was Halloween.
Anyway, but yeah, I think maybe that's when, like, the first time that I saw you, and
Aww.
you guys were so good then. And then
Thanks.
yeah, seeing you at your early show was so amazing. Okay, so let's talk about the album. You said that you had been sort of like putting it together for a while. Do you want to talk about, I guess, like part A? I'm curious like what your songwriting process is. Like, what is this album about? Is it about one thing? Is it about all different things? Like, tell me how you put the songs together, essentially.
Like, you said side A? Wait, what? Like side
Like,
A, side B?
sorry, part A, I guess, is like how you put the album together in terms of like theme. What songs did you choose? And then, you know what would have been helpful had I said what the part B was? Which
I thought you were like, what is side A and what is side B?
this is a record. No, I was, you know, I'm also really curious about the production and about sort of like the, you know, sort of after the like idea is born, then there's this whole other part of it. Like you said, that they had sort of been done for such a long time, and then, you know, I know how it goes, which is like, you know, you have this long period of time where things are getting recorded and mixed and mastered, and I want to know about all those things too. But first, I just want to know, like, what is this album about? I don't know. All of these songs have been written over the past like 5-ish years, and they're all about like, I don't know, relationships to myself, and like I kind of think of it more as like timestamps of like things I went through, things I like that happened and I like got through and like left behind me, because like a lot of these things I feel like I don't know, it's just things that I've moved through, but also like a lot of the themes remain pretty true still. Like some of it's about like my family, and some of it's like about just like, I don't know, processing a lot of things. And like I feel like the name of the album, Trust Me I'm Trying, was pulled from just like each song is like, oh, like I'm trying in like this different way.
And that's like one of the lyrics of the songs, like in the middle of the album. And so it just kind of was like this is like, I'm trying my best here with what I've got and like moving through these like hard life points. And so I don't know, I would say that a lot of the things that I wrote about, like I'm past now, which is interesting, and why it is so weird to be like, these songs are so new for some people, but like I moved through this part of my life like so long ago.
Yeah.
And
Do you ever find it hard to play songs that like you no longer, I don't want to say no longer relate to, but like maybe it's no longer your truth, like?
Yeah. I think it's hard to play them because I'm like, okay, like I need something fresh, like I need to like but I've just been so focused on like finishing this stretch of songs that it felt like I didn't really have space or like mental capacity to like write about different things.
Yeah.
I'm just like here, and I'm like really wanted to focus on these ones specifically, but it wouldn't say that they aren't true to me anymore. Like they still are my truth because they're things that I experience, but sometimes I'm like, whoa, I wrote that?
Yeah.
That's so, I don't know. It's just like, they kind of just like came out of me like in the moment. And I haven't had like a moment like that in a while where like something's just like, blah, like falling out of me. But I feel like each song takes me like a really long time to write.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's like I sit with it for a really long time, like sometimes months of just like toying with it and like finding the right thing, and then there's just a moment where it feels done. Yeah. Which is why it probably took so long. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you find are you a slow mover in life in general? Like, do you process things slowly in your life outside of music?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. I feel like I'm a pretty fast-paced person day to day, like the things that I have to do, like I feel like I have a million things to do all the time, but like I feel like something happens and I like can't quite react like immediately. I'm like have a reaction, and then I like think about it later, and then I'm like, oh, I still have feelings about this. And so it was kind of like, I don't know, feels sort of like that.
Yeah.
But
that's relatable. I think that's very human.
Yeah.
Like we discover like, oh, this thing that happened to me months ago, you mean I'm still like impacted by it? It's so human. And I think like because of the way our like society moves, we like want to be like, I'm so past that, you know, or like don't like I just talked about that in therapy one time, or like I went on an upsetting walk after that happened, and therefore like I moved on from it. And like so often we're never fully moved on from something. And God, I know that when I write songs, sometimes I never know when to be done with something, or like when I'll want to finish it, or like I think I can struggle with that a little bit. Or I struggle with like keeping songs in the present tense sometimes. Like sometimes I will write about something when I feel a certain way about it, and then if I don't feel that way anymore, I'll be like, I need to rewrite this in past tense. And it's like, oh, why do I have to do that? It can just be true. Like something can just live in the present. Yeah, even if it's no longer the case or something.
Yeah, which is cool. I feel like the songs live in their timestamps.
Yeah, it's so important.
Like, yeah, it's just like you can hear it. Like I'm talking about a very specific moment. And I wouldn't say that it's like, oh, I'm past this and I'm better now. It's just like, honestly, like singing the songs, like sometimes it's like really hard. I feel like, I don't know, I see a lot of bands play in town. They're like having so much fun, and I'm just like, oh. And
you're like, ouch.
I need to like go on a walk and like not talk to anyone after I play a show.
Yeah.
Just like be for a second, because it is so much, and I don't think that I like give myself that sometimes, where I'm like, oh, that was a hard thing.
Yeah, wow,
that's just, like sung about all of your like, you'd sung your diary entries basically.
That's so fair. I feel like that's like very profound, and maybe because there is this pressure, especially if like you have a show and your friends go to it, that I'm like, hey, let's get a drink after, like use those drink tickets. And then sometimes I'm like, actually I feel nervous and like I just had to do something really vulnerable. Like it's very vulnerable. And it's so interesting because if you were to do, I don't know, anything else that was like vulnerable or emotional or anything like that, there would be zero expectation to be like woohoo after, you know.
It's such a hard balance.
Yeah, that's really
that happened at the album release show. I was like feeling so many things and I was like, oh my god, what the heck. And then Taka immediately started playing.
No.
And I was just like, had to like clean up all my stuff, and like there were people like grinding on each other, and I was like weaving through the crowd and like talking to people, and people are congratulating me, and I was like, thank you.
Meanwhile, it's like
it was like bustling, and it was such a crazy moment, and I just had to like, I had to get out.
Yeah,
I was like, I need to go to bed.
Oh my god, that's
some
so
days
fair.
I'm like, woohoo, let's have fun.
Yeah, no, I think that's
Depends on the mood.
really fair. I also think like I'm sure a lot of artists feel that exact same way. I do sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes people seem so chill.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, what's up, this is my t-shirt and my CD.
Yeah,
and you're like, I had to like pack it all away.
Yeah, that's so fair. I think that I try to be like, whatever, man. Like, yeah, that whole thing that I did up there is totally fine. But I am someone like, I still get nervous every single time
same.
I play. I have not like nervous like the first time I ever played. Every time, and I can't figure it out either. And I keep saying like, should I stop doing that? Like, what at what point does this just mean that I don't like to play? Like, I can't really figure it out for myself. Like, do I not like to play live, or is it that I'm just, you know, reading my diary on stage and also people are judging me for objectively how well I can play it and sing or whatever. Like, there's obviously some of that, but yeah, I think about that all the time because I'm never like off stage like, whew, like that's over with, you know. I don't have that relief, I think. Like it feels like so many other people do, but maybe everyone else is just feeling the exact same way that you and I are.
Yeah, maybe they are, and they just have like a poker face or
they're just doing a better job.
Because I feel like I'm like it just is pretty obvious. But I don't know.
Interesting.
It is a hard thing we do.
Yeah, musicians like, I want like a poll now. Like, I want to know like the amount that you feel prepared to go out with your friends after you get off of stage. Like, let's see. But anyway, I appreciate you sharing all of that, and like I said, I want to hear about some of the production too. But I was wondering, I've listened through to your album, and I was wondering if you wanted to talk about High and Dry a little bit. I really like that song a lot, and I was wondering if you wanted to talk about what that song's about a little bit, if you would like to.
Totally. That song was like a big like coping thing. Just like really like moving through like not like kind of like, I don't know, having a realization that you're like not being treated well, and just like, but it comes like after the fact. You're like, oh, that happened and I've just been left high and dry now. But now I'm processing it, and I'm actually just like mad about like how I was treated. Like, what the heck? That song, it's funny, this was kind of like a crazy thing, but it was a totally different lyrics, and then I just changed them. It was like a nice love song, and then I like changed it, and I was like, no, like I don't. That's actually like interesting how you were saying like, oh, write it in the past tense or something. I like was like, this is not how I feel actually, and I love this song, and I don't want to play this in this way, so I'm gonna change it because I can do that, because like, why not? And I just like changed it to like encapsulate how I like truly feel now. Whoa. And that like that remains true. Like, I feel that song. It's a really harsh song, but like, I don't know, I'm just like, you can't treat me like that, what the heck? And just like moving through that, I don't know, it was like so liberating to kind of like use my art to, I don't know, process something really hard that happened to me, or like, and kind of like take my power back a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's kind of crazy. But yeah, I love, shout out to Benny Yerko at Little Jamaica Studio. He recorded that for us, kind of on a whim. And he made it sound so crazy. Musically as well, it's one of my favorites. It's Thank you.
Like that little, I can't think of it right now in my head, but that little like
The walk down.
yes, the walk down, the little doom 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 part is so cool.
Yeah, definitely the surf rock influence in me.
Yeah. So I want to, this will like move us perfectly into kind of like the production of it and the recording, but I want to know, like, you have a very niche style and I really like it a lot.
Thanks.
Actually, after your album release, I went with my friend and I was like, Vega sounds just like this person and I can't think of who it was, and then I was like, it's gonna take me days to figure it out, and I figured it out. I'll share it with you after. I can't remember again, but I have it in my text messages because I was like, this is gonna come to me at like 3 a.m. I'm gonna like rise from my bed and be like, this is who she sounds like. But you have this like really niche specific music style and I really like it a lot, and I'm wondering what some of your influences were and is like the music you listen to, like the music that you want to make. Did you have influences like for this album in particular, like especially as it pertains to the sound and the production and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know, it's kind of all across the board, but like my influences, I feel like growing up, just my dad played guitar in a surf rock band, and he would just be playing guitar all the time and like ripping just like to random surf rock songs like just in our house, and they were just guitars everywhere, and I sort of just like was hearing that, and I think that is like a huge influence of mine.
Can you name a surf rock band?
I don't know, like
I'm like, name
now
3
I'm
songs
blanking.
for me. I'm so sorry.
On, like,
just for like
every
for
surf rock
context.
band.
Or don't. I'll Google surf rock bands
just
and then we'll
like
see what comes up.
Pipeline
Okay.
and like those kinds of things. Like he would just rip on that stuff. And
Amazing.
Just like the crazy like ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
And I don't think that like that, I mean, it's definitely like present there, and like growing up like listening to that kind of music, you can kind of hear it a little bit. And like I sent it to my dad and he was like, I love the surf rock riff in that song.
And you're like, the what?
And I was like, oh my God. But I would say like the softer stuff, which like feels more like my vibe. I would like play a lot of open mics before I started writing, and it was a lot of like Angel Olsen, Florist.
Yes.
Those were like my...
I love Florist. You sound like Florist a little bit, I think.
Thank
yeah.
you. That actually means so much, because they're like one of my favorites
I love
ever. And Angel Olsen, like huge influence, because I just like learned all of their songs because I liked them a lot, and they were like pretty easy to learn on guitar. And then I would just like be like playing those songs over and over again, and then a song of my own would stem from like just playing those for fun. So I don't know, definitely like in the beginning stages, like Florist, Angel Olsen, Lamelda vibes, and then just like, I don't know, like old Kate LeBon.
Yeah.
Really old Kate LeBon and old surf rock and stuff. Yeah. I've heard like people describe my music like as kind of jazzy sometimes, which definitely was because I think one of the first songs I ever learned on guitar when I was like a really young chap was this like bossa nova song by Jack Johnson. And
whoa, Jack Johnson bossa nova. I need to hear this.
It's that song Belle. You have to listen to it.
Write this down.
It's like such a beautiful song, and I just remember like learning that song, and that just like was the start of it all. For some reason that was the song. But yeah,
that really did it.
Yeah, but like my family, we'd listen to Jack Johnson like all the time.
Yeah, so good.
And, like huge influence.
Wait, I feel like asking the what is the song that like did it for you when you were a kid, where you were like, and now I care about music? I feel like this is an underrated question.
That's such a good question.
I remember listening to You and I by Lady Gaga, and then I was
God.
like, where's the piano? I'm learning that song on piano immediately. And I did. And I feel like that's when I started to like noodle around with music alone in my room. Like I immediately like pushed everything aside from my room and like dug out our like old keyboard. And I was like, this keyboard lives in my room now. And I play music. And it's You and I by Lady Gaga.
That's so special. Yeah, I feel like it was like The Climb by Miley Cyrus for me.
Yes.
So like I learned that on piano. My piano teacher taught me this song.
So relatable. So relatable. Okay. So for the like production and the recording, I think I heard you talk at your show as well. You recorded it in a studio for the most part. Is that right?
All over. It was like so many different places.
It sounds so cohesive. It sounds like you recorded it all in one place.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to be perceived that way, because every song, honestly, like every instrument was probably recorded in a different place.
I kind of love that though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to have it all pieced together. It makes it like special.
Yeah.
But I don't know, off the top of my head, we recorded in my old living room. We recorded in Cam's like partner's living room. We recorded
lots of living rooms
in Spicy World Studio.
Cool.
Downtown Burlington. We recorded in Little Jamaica Studio with Benny Yurko. Oh, where else did we record? Yeah, just like all over the place. Oh, Cam recorded a lot of his parts at his dad's studio in Middletown Springs, Vermont.
And Cam plays the upright bass, is that right?
He plays upright, and he played sax on a couple of the songs.
Cool.
And then he also played like a beautiful piano solo in What's Mine.
Amazing.
Which like made the whole song.
Yeah.
We were mixing that together, and I was like, I love the piano, and he had muted so much of it, and I was like, no, put it all
Get it
in. He just like, he made it. Like, it was like so cool.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so a very wide array of places.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And I'm glad that it sounds cohesive.
Yeah, it totally does. It totally does.
Cool.
Well, I want to make sure that we play a couple of your songs. I'd love to play High and Dry since we talked about it. Is there another tune that you like? Do you have a favorite off the album that you'd like to play that isn't explicit? I don't think any of your songs are explicit.
They're explicit.
Good for you. I'm like, I think I have a lyrical crutch of like leaning on curse words and nice music, and I don't like it about myself. I'm trying to change that about myself.
Maybe I should start doing that. Be a little edgier. Yeah, do High and Dry, and then I guess my favorite is either Release or In Bloom.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
I'll play Release. Also was released early, right?
Yeah,
didn't
that
that come out as a single? Yeah, that's cool. I will play Release as well. Molly, do you wanna like, where can people find you and your music? And do you have any shows coming up? I mean, you just played a big old show, and I know you just like, you know, like you said, you're like taking an exhale right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you have any shows coming up or anything like that. Also, you have a music video out as well, right? Plug all of that stuff.
Yeah. Let me see. YouTube. That's where the video is. It's just Vega, I'm pretty sure.
And that's VEGA.
VEGA. Or maybe it's like a different name. Let me look at it. But
also, you have an Instagram,
I have an Instagram, which is where I post like most of my info, like shows and what I'm up to and stuff. It's kind of a weird handle, but it's Vega _.
Yeah.
But it's with 2 V's in the middle.
I'll also tag you on a post so that if people are listening and follow my Instagram, they can follow you as well.
It's just like it was a very tough name to claim.
I can imagine.
Honestly, okay, so my YouTube is Vega VT.
Cool. Vega VT for that music video.
For the music video.
And Vega _ for Instagram. And you're on Spotify as Vega and Bandcamp as well, I'm sure.
Bandcamp is Vega Music VT.
Cool. Like all different ones.
Seriously, like such a hard name to claim.
Yeah,
Vega
really
and Apple Music. Everywhere.
Great.
You can find me.
And your album one more time is called Trust Me, I'm Trying.
Yes.
And everyone should go listen to it.
Thanks.
And thank you so much for being on Are You Okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to listen to High and Dry first, and then we'll listen to Release. And then for the second half of the show, it is Pride Month, and I'm going to be playing some really sapphic and queer songs. So that's what you can expect for the second half of the show. Molly, Vega, thank you so much for... What if your name was like first name Molly, last name Vega? Not what I was trying to say. Molly / Vega, thank you so much for being on Are You Okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to listen to High and Dry.